Okay, let's call this meeting to order.
All right, it's 1:50.
Let's have the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, who's not here? Bill Dunn is not here, Carol's not here.
That's it. Everybody else
That's
is
pretty
here.
darn good, you guys. Okay, we are obviously doing agenda amendments.
So are there amendments to the agenda?
Yes,
Park all new business.
is it all new business?
Yeah, it really is.
Except
Outside
for
of
the
adjournment.
Except for the planning and zoning compliance reports.
Oh, correct.
And adjournment. We don't want to miss adjournment.
Okay,
All right,
the agenda is so amended. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I just make a motion to approve it.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Old business. Maori parcel subdivision, Utah County Road.
We didn't go through with that, so
I didn't go through with that. You were gonna write a letter for me and submit it to JD.
well, I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
We didn't do it as a subdivision, I guess, subdivision waiver is what I was saying.
Oh, yes.
I have not had a chance to write the letter. I will do that.
Okay.
Neither have I had the opportunity to talk to the commissioners about the refund, which we need to grant you since we didn't decide to take it that direction.
Okay, east of Highway 69 subdivision moratorium scheduled to sunset today, and it did. It's now
And do
sunset.
you remember when that meeting was?
For the subdivision?
When they approved to let that, no, you were there. I
Oh, it
don't
was
remember
last
the date.
Wednesday down in
19th.
Wetmore.
19th,
July 19th, or June 19th.
6/19, the BOCC,
Yes.
they didn't even vote or
Yes, they
anything.
did.
Oh, they did? They voted?
They voted to let
it sunset. Okay,
what does sunset mean?
Expire.
It end.
is that not the legal term? What should we call it? End?
I think sunset's a good term.
Citizen,
Okay,
it's the end of the day.
okay.
So now they can begin to do more.
They can if they go through, but they have to go through the subdivision regulations. Which they left it to us. I mean, to make sure that they had water, which is the main thing. So, I mean, I don't see it happening. But all it did was clean up the office's work so that they weren't in violation of the moratorium. Because, I mean, we've been doing subdivisions.
Yeah, but you know where this water thing's gonna come into though. Take a look at the size of the blue line.
I know, but that's,
Plus, they're not giving any more taps right now, aren't they? Then they stop the
That's
taps.
that's not what I'm getting at. You know what I'm getting at with the augmentation plan.
but that blue line's pretty big, but it's all over here. It's not out here. We've got enough problems over here anyway. We've got a lot of lots over there that are 50 by 100. And they're pre-zoning.
A lot that's 50 by 100, that's a small lot.
Yes.
That's the ones in Dewey.
Huh?
Louise and
Dewey's and
San Isabel.
Oh,
They're
no, there's a
small.
whole subdivision
Yeah.
out there that's plotted.
Golden Arrow.
50 by
Oh,
100.
I forgot about
It's like an
that.
RV lot.
Yeah. They made them right before zoning went into effect.
Do the setbacks
I'm
still
just,
apply?
I'm just telling you that
Absolutely.
10 feet.
that this blue
Oh, it's only
line,
10 feet.
if we think that there isn't gonna be an attempt to move the blue line, you're
There
absolutely
will.
kidding yourself, okay? And there's already something in the works that would move it, would be a while down the road, but it has to do with Coleman's Pond out there, and they want to augment, okay? Because all that the state's doing with closing up these ponds, okay?
Coleman's Pond,
Yep,
the
yep,
one above Christie's house.
it'd be Christie's. So, we voted the other day, I mean, I put my foot down, so we moving this blue line? No, we're not, that's not what we're doing, all it is, so there was a vote the other day in Upper Ark that was taken. And all it is it's gonna be some drudging and a bunch of engineering, reading of what that pond would produce, what kind of water it's producing, this sort of thing. So it may not even be able to be done, but went ahead and voted to go ahead and do the investigation to see if there's even anything there. It'll probably take a year to get all that information.
Yeah.
But if it passes mustard, then the next thing that'll be happening then is to move the blue line so it'll encompass that, so there can be augmentation done. Okay? I'm telling you what's coming.
Okay.
And so the other day, I went ahead and voted to go ahead and investigate it, because what I'm hoping is they find it can't be done, because it'll squash it, right? But I made it adamant, like, you go back 3 minutes, and I said, before there is any talk of moving this blue line, you go back to Custer County and you hold forums, and it's not done the last way it was. Well, Terry just sat there and argued with me and said, oh no, everything was on the up front. Well, it was not on the up front. And so I said, I am not gonna argue with you, but I'm telling you, this county is not gonna digest very much more talking about blue lines.
Well,
And
the
so,
thing is, they moved the blue line up to where their pond is. Okay, but their pond is down there in the valley. And then they want to augment up here.
right. So what I'm saying is there's nothing being done now. That's the whole reason why I stupidly agreed to be on that board, and you people stupidly put me there. But there's a lot of good that Upper Ark does. I will guarantee you that there are times that we would not be able to irrigate if it was not for Upper Ark making transfers and having buckets of water everywhere and filling. I get all that. But I'm telling you that that's the next nose under the camel's tent, is that pond right there. And if it passes mustard and an augmentation plan can be, then it's gonna have to have the blue, it's out of the blue line, so they're gonna have to move the blue line to go get it. I promise you, if they're moving the blue line to go get it, that blue line ain't gonna be that wide going straight to that pond. You follow me?
No, and the other thing is that they can take water from inside that blue line. It goes down the hill and then it comes back up over here, back up Oak Creek.
Well, yeah, you open up an augmentation plan, and then the argument comes that the damage is done to the main tributary going out, right? So that's the way that they argue it for all this junk up here, is that, well, it's affecting the main stem, right? Well, that is not the way that I agree with or read an augmentation plan.
And out there,
So-
they're gonna have a bigger problem because they can't say that it's affecting, that anything east of
Right,
69 is affecting.
right. So I'm just telling you, I will keep you apprised, everybody, as things are coming. But I have absolutely, and you can ask Bill Donnelly, you can ask anybody sitting in that meeting the other day, pitched an ever-loving walleye fit and made my point very well known, that if this thing, I'll go ahead and vote so we can investigate it, right? Because if you understand, so there might even be people in the county that would be mad at me for doing that, and that's okay. And if they just listen, though, we need that information. Because if that information comes back and it's the wrong water type of source, that water's gathering in the wrong kind of way, the wrong kind of water, you know what I'm talking about, then it can't be augmented. All right, so what I was voting for is let's go ahead and do something to get that information. But if it passes mustard, then before anything is done then there's meetings up here. So this whole county understands what is going on. Because I said there's a bad taste in the mouth over the last one.
Yeah. Some of that water in that pond is surface water.
See,
It started out as surface water.
right, and then it got opened up. And so if they find that a bunch of it's surface water, then that's in our favor of not augmenting. So anyway, so now everybody here, and I want to clear why I voted yes to do that. I'm not the bad guy here. I want information that I'm hoping helps us to stop getting further excuses for blue line expansion.
Keep moving that whole time. Okay. So, but anyway, the subdivisions they're now legal to do.
Possible.
I don't think we'll see it.
Not for a while.
I mean, because number one, they'd all have to be down here, so they were inside the present blue line. But you can't even guarantee them water down there,
You know,
which is under our subdivision regs. You have to guarantee them, water for so many years.
right.
Well, see, my whole argument against the blue line, especially expansion width-wise like that, out of a narrower channel like right down in here, because there's some good that augmentation can do right down in here. There, without a doubt, there is. That'll keep, because you're replacing water right where damage occurred, and you actually wind up keeping Great Creek whole by doing it. So there's good that's just in the small area, but when we get out over here, then that's where we run into trouble. And my whole reason for not wanting that kind of expansion out that direction is because it gives somebody the excuse then to do exactly this, of try to put in, you're not helping us by expanding it. Because somebody comes in, an investor, and they may not know water around here, but they got deep pockets. Well, they can really, really, really make a hard run at putting in a subdivision and trying to put together the water through an augmentation plan. Now, there's a huge process that they'd have to go through to prove the water and all that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you what, in the meantime, there's just a lot of crap going on that shouldn't even be going on. And what if they somehow finagle it enough that, okay, yeah, there's enough water, and the dude's got deep enough pockets to go ahead and pay for a massive, massive, multiple thousands upon possibly billions of dollars for an augmentation plan, still go ahead and do it, and you got another subdivision.
Yeah. But, I mean, so he's got to drill a 2,000-foot well.
Yeah,
If he's got enough money
Oh, yeah, he'll do it.
to hammer it through that rock.
Oh, yeah, he'll do it.
but the problem with the whole blue line is it even gives the possibility, and that's what I yelled from the top of the mountain, and nobody would listen.
So,
The issue you get is there's very little places like this to build anymore. So they are looking here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
And it's not Upper Ark that's looking, the Upper Ark's mission is to manage water. And, I kind of wish you could see the inside workings of Upper Ark on what they're doing for the state and protection and dealing with Aurora. Aurora is a big one right now, and a lot of stuff going west. I will tell you that Upper Ark, and I think you'd agree with me, does a whale of a job in protection of water. And there's just some misconceptions. People don't understand augmentation, and they don't understand transfer or replacement or anything like that. But when you get down to the nitty gritty, I'll say it again. There's been times that we've just had average dry years here that we've kept running irrigating water because it was there. But it was there because Upper Arkansas Water Conservancy District had our back and they're interested in the water. So when they lay this blue line in here, all they're really honestly looking at is to be able to supply and provide water within engineer, you know, and they have no interest if the county's growing, if it's not growing, is somebody, they don't play games like that. It is all about water. My argument to them was, going, by doing this though, you're making our county possibly have to deal with bigger issues that we don't want to have to deal with because the water's simply not there, right? And you see what I'm saying? So by having the blue line, then you have somebody that says, oh, the moratorium's lifted and I've got, you know, Donald Trump's kind of money and I'm gonna come and at least make a run at it, you know? And it's just what we're gonna wind up dealing with. And Upper Ark is right when they say the county's business is the county's business. We are just looking purely at water and water management. Well, they are. I mean, I agree with that, but anyway. But of course, for me, I mean, I want this blue line crap stopped.
Upper Ark is looking to pay the bill. I mean, with their augmentation plans,
Yeah,
they're not breaking even.
yeah,
I mean, they're making money.
yeah, you know, and it's the whole enterprise side.
It's the
of
whole
it.
enterprise, because it's not Upper Ark itself, it's the
No, it's
enterprise.
just the enterprise on the management of those kind of things. But anyway, they're not the devil everybody makes them out to be, right? But they still need to be, just like anything else that's government, you know, we need to have voice, you know, I think they need to listen to the county anyway.
So we have no new business,
Hour.
except for planning and zoning compliance reports.
Just been really busy. We are still seeing a decline in the permits that are being pulled compared to last year. All indications point to the building slowing down a little. A lot of compliance issues. Since you were talking water, I'm reaching out right now to Jerry Livengood. I have reports of a holding pond being created out in Silver Cliff, out in Centennial Ranch. I have not driven out there to visually see it myself, but it was a pretty detailed written complaint that I received. So I'll be getting with Jerry and we'll be taking a look at that to see what's going on. Other than
Is that under your jurisdiction?
the
No,
water.
it's really not.
That's what I thought. Why would you have to deal with
Well,
that?
I have other things that I need to do out there. They're burying, I don't know what kind of waste.
Okay, so
on
it
the
could be
property.
a waste
So-
issue.
Both.
Centennial Ranch, you betcha.
Say that again.
Centennial Ranch, yes. The armpit of the country.
It was a formal written complaint, so I feel I will get with Jerry, I will go out there with him, I don't need to go out there with him, I can do my own investigation, but honestly, I'd feel more comfortable with us going together rather than one by themselves. That's why I would go with them.
And if the complaint came to you, I assume it came to you?
Yes. Just a lot of, we're right now in the process sending out letters to those who have a vault, since we changed that in the resolution. It's definitely an undertaking to try to get that done. I don't feel comfortable with just posting it in the paper. I think it needs to be, each property owner needs to be notified. However, there's really no list of everybody who has a septic. So we're developing that list so that we can keep track of what's turned in and going forward, have a updated parcel list for the vault systems.
If somebody builds a new vault, does that come through your office?
Yes,
Okay, so you'll know.
yes, yeah. And the newer ones we can look at, we can pull a list off of our system, but anything past, I'm not sure when that system was built, in the late 80s. Might be 93. We don't have record of it, so we're developing those records.
What's transpired, don't be now subject, with the hemp creation out at Centennial Ranch, the 2 buildings, the pad and everything, did that ever go anywhere? Remember the hemp farm he was building, or?
it was up for sale, I seen, and the homeowners association, Jerry Rice, I think was his name at the time, the president, did let me know that he had stopped building. I don't know that to be a fact, I haven't been out there recently, but it was on the market to be sold. I don't see it on there anymore, so I don't know, I didn't see it sell. But I don't believe that's moved forward, nor do I think it's going to.
Are these SUPs, are these gonna come back to us, you think?
They'll come back next month, I talked to both of them, the STRs, yeah. And I would like to suggest, because I'm going through my mind, how did this happen, how did I not, ran out of time, I guess. We should have probably canceled today's meeting, but, so can we maybe change the site tour to Wednesday? I really believe that the site tours are important, just from what we learned in this one.
Why wouldn't you want them, because Monday afternoons are obviously not bad, why wouldn't you do it the week prior on that Monday afternoon?
Mondays aren't a good day for us normally, especially, or a Tuesday after a holiday. A lot of the holidays fall on a Monday. Wednesday would be a great day for us, I think, unless there's a board meeting. So I'd have to look if I have to be at the board meeting, that may throw that too. So I'll look at and kind of come up with some suggestions, and I'll let you guys know, we can decide.
So here's a question to you. There's gonna be a lot of changes, and if I made a motion to accept this, it would have to have these changes in it, because there's information in here that needs to be changed. Like he's got, please do not smoke. I will smoke you. Or vape, well, smoking, meant smoke. But smoke.
And, Daryl,
Do we
if
do it at
you,
the meeting next week?
well, if you want us to deny it based on stuff like that, we can, or push it to the next
Well, I
month.
mean, it's just gonna be
It's-
that we add it to, if we accept it in the motion, then it's gonna be exception, with this exception.
I understand that. So I guess that's something we need to look at and push it back then, if there's misspellings or something in there. I don't know where we draw the line.
Yeah, I mean, when we catch something like that, it's really simple, just have it as part of.
Well, since we had it till next month, I didn't know if that was something we would tell them so they could change
Oh,
it prior to next
yeah.
month.
But if it, let's say we were dealing with it
Who's
today.
Yeah, we could have
SCR
dealt with it
is
next
it?
month.
So maybe, I don't think he.
Whose
heard that.
SCR is it that they didn't spell
Both
something
of
right?
them. Oh,
And I'll tell you, it's a process getting them prepared and getting them ready to this point.
But
So-
when stuff, let's say that we were actually dealing with it today, let's say everything is in line and we catch smoke versus smoke, it's really,
It's not
really,
that
really
big.
simple.
it's not that big deal, but I mean, they have a whole month to change it and put
Because
it in
this
the
is
sheet.
probably
Well,
not
now
what
they
they're
do.
gonna.
Yeah,
Now
now
they do.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that you were asking about in the future, we catch some.
yeah.
Well, we've done that in the past where we've had conditions that they update
Update,
their
Yeah.
house rules, to be the kind of things that we discussed in the meeting. We've never gone through and said, change this word and change this word. We've never done that.
When we do say to make a change, do they always, do they bring them into you?
Normally, they email them to Delana.
Oh, so that is.
Yeah.
I can tell you this garage on the one over there, he built that himself, the owner did. If I know Mitch, big Church of Christ guy, but he sure did push the limits of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he didn't get a permit, I know he didn't get a permit.
We have a garage permit, we just don't have the second level. Probably last minute thought, decided, hey, I could put a loft in here and have extra storage.
I don't know why I said Church of Christ. They pushed the limits. Yeah, because on the first one, which is Starry Peaks Lodge, I mean, there's 5 or 6 different places that maybe change. We can do it next month. It's not gonna be a big deal. More of a pain in the butt to tell them to change it now than it is just wait till next month. Just, you got it there.
So how are we gonna research on that, on the one he's talking about, that easement?
I sent her over to try to find it. To me, we don't show anything.
It should be on, I mean, I would think that it would be, been on the plat for the subdivision.
And it
She
doesn't.
looked and there wasn't anything.
So there's no easement on the plat?
She looked on the original plat of the subdivision and she went all the way back to the homeowner from, I think she said 1901, and there was no recorded easement in the clerk's office.
Well, how do you
That's
fix
an
something like that? I just am ignorant, I don't know.
Oh, that's where everybody gets lawyers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really? You have to bring a lawyer into it?
Well, I mean, technically, it's grandfathered in because you've been using it, and it's a use, but you still have to file for an easement.
You file for an easement, okay.
And then you hope the other parties against you
Yeah,
play well.
exactly.
Because if they don't play well, everybody lawyers up.
Then
And
it
then
goes to
spends
court.
a pile of money to have a judge decide.
If everybody plays nicely, how long does it take?
And that's a good question.
I really don't
It'd
know.
take you a couple months.
Could, I would imagine.
We've
So
never
this,
seen
this,
everybody
that
play
one could be
nicely. We
pushed
don't
out
know.
to.
Right?
You know?
No one plays nice anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get my head around it.
So you
Yeah,
have to do
no,
a survey
that's a
and
good
everything,
question.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, you'd have to have a
Yep,
survey.
yep, that's right. Yep.
Oh, man, that could take time.
That
Oh, yeah.
easement's
I know
gotta
about
be
that.
defined.
Yeah, they're 2 months out from
Yeah.
surveying right now.
Imagine.
Yeah, that easement's gotta be defined legally.
And there was a copy of their deed in the file, which is weird, we don't usually have that in our file. And I didn't see no reference to,
Crazy.
I didn't sit and read it word for word, just skimming through it real
Well,
quick.
that's why
with
it's
her over
sold,
there.
because you had a deed. Wouldn't have sold it, not, wouldn't have passed the. Wouldn't have,
I would have thought that would have been on the deed. I would have thought reference to that easement, if there was one, would have been on that deed.
Well, yeah, it should have never gone through closing without.
That makes sense to
the
me.
title company didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
probably did not.
That's a title issue. I'd sue the title company.
Well, what didn't catch it to start with was when they filed the first subdivision plat. It should have been on there because that was a flagpole lot, that's all it could be.
And maybe JD's office will have something that the clerk's office doesn't. I can't imagine, but sometimes it can happen.
Oh,
I mean, if they don't have an easement through there and there's just a lot back there,
you're locked.
a landlocked lot,
Well, you can't technically have a landlocked lot now.
well, back then
Well, back then they did,
see,
yeah.
that was probably
But
pre,
now.
that was probably
Sure.
70 or
Oh,
before.
yeah, sure.
But again, you probably get something done, but you're talking
months.
attorneys.
Yeah, you're talking
You're
months
talking
and
attorneys
attorney.
on both sides.
Is that
Nightmares.
5 acres? Is that 30 acres or 5 acres?
It's fine.
It's not very big.
No, but that lot's only 1 acre or something.
Oh, they said it's under,
1.2 or something.
yeah.
So really, we won't see that for a while.
Unless she can come up with something we couldn't find.
Whose was that one?
Is
Hawthorne?
Carson.
Is there something in here in the resolution that says, and there has to be an easement to the property?
It was on the application on the back
Oh,
page.
yes, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good enough.
So this one right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that should be a dedicated easement one way or the other.
It
That's not
splits
funny.
the way that road goes, in my opinion, the way we looked at it, and if you looked at it, Dib's property that owns that parcel that it runs through.
Yes, the school, the ones on the left, when you're driving up to the house, the ones on the left is school teachers. And they got an STR, remember, last 2 years ago. That's what owns that. The other one's owned by the house that sits on the road.
Okay, that was the question I had too, are there other STRs in that vicinity?
Yes, right next door.
Okay,
I think,
that's a
though,
question I would have asked.
That's the school teachers.
that road cuts It goes, so this person's property, it cuts
Actually,
it doesn't go the property
Doesn't
line.
go clear to the property line.
That's what I was saying. It doesn't, usually an easement like that runs along the property line, and it doesn't. And I believe, was he the one?
You would have assumed that that easement would have been specified on the original plat, because otherwise they got no access to that lot,
Right.
Yeah,
unless that road was supposed to be someplace else.
Yeah.
No, unless
What's-
their
yeah, I was gonna
access was
say,
supposed
what-
to be from here.
Whatever road that is, could have come off that.
Well, actually, that road is probably, the road that goes through Karita.
Oh,
The old bypass
yeah,
around the hill.
yeah. Didn't they abandon that for a while?
Yeah.
Wonder if that's why. Yeah, but they could still come off of here and then,
Yeah.
because they didn't abandon it till clear down there. You go that way. I don't know.
but then you're crossing somebody else's
Well,
property.
either way,
aren't
you're
you?
crossing either theirs or theirs.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
How far above the dump are you?
Or you're east of the dump.
You're east of the dump, above
Yeah.
it. How far though?
Of what?
I'd
How
say
far above the dump are you? Before that Horn Silver
miles.
Drive?
Yeah, I
maybe
would
2
say a
miles.
couple miles at
Because
least.
319 comes out, his road has another little valley back there, and you have 319. So then his property sits here, and then there's another owner back here that sits on 319. So he's probably 500 yards past 319.
So there's actually 3 flag lots right there.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
there
I was
is.
looking at
One,
too.
right.
2, 3. All 3 of these are flag lots.
Mhm.
Sure
4.
could be.
5,
Yeah.
6, 7, the whole subdivision is full of them.
What's the address on that?
Well, I see 3. I don't see that.
Upper right
looking over
and
here.
lower right.
We're over
Oh,
Off
the
the
Bassett
Bassett
Circle.
Circle.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Gabbard Drive.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
Yeah, see, here's some easements marked out here.
yep. You got
Yeah,
1,
that makes it
2,
easier.
3, 4, these guys right here,
Yeah.
flag lots.
Don't we have
5,
an
6,
STR on
7.
Gabbard too? I don't know.
When they drew flag lots, they should have included the easements to get in there.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they aren't a flag lot.
Just before Good Hope, right? Yeah.
It's gotta be recorded somewhere, I just
Yeah,
gotta
it's
think.
that big
have
main
to be
road that
missing
comes
it.
off on the left side, come off into Rosita, just as you come into Rosita.
With that many of them, something has to be
So it's
recorded.
pretty close to Rosita.
Yeah, it would have come up legally before now.
Yeah,
But,
Many times as they've probably sold.
well,
Yeah,
you would think
exactly.
one of the title companies would have caught it.
You would think.
So maybe they do have something up in JD's office.
my guess is they do somewhere.
So that'll bring it back into August.
Right,
Well, if they
They'll
don't
find
get the
something.
title, they'll call the title company and find out what the title company has.
right.
They should have their entire packet.
They should, yeah.
They should.
It'll be okay.
Yeah.
So in order to accept their application, now we have to have the easement.
Verified, yeah.
The easement, and then they have to get a permit for above the garage.
Right.
So those 2 things, which could be very quick, I would think, on both of them.
Yeah,
I mean, there's gotta be some record of that easement somewhere.
there does.
But
You
it
would
needs to
think.
be this week to have the 30 days.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, is there any more new business?
I don't have anything else.
How are we doing on SUPs? Are we in the process of looking at these every 2 years like we talked about at one time? Do you have the bandwidth to do that? Because we talked about looking at one meeting, looking at SUPs, because some of them went away and they're not even in business anymore, and we don't even know it.
Last year when we had our part-time staff in there, we did go through the SUPs. We closed out several of them. And I would imagine if we have time, we will do that again, probably next year.
you guys get a new vehicle?
We did. What is it? I should have reported that.
What is
We
it?
got a Toyota 4Runner, is that what it is? Toyota 4Runner.
Are you happy with it?
It's very nice.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Very, very
Better than
nice.
what you had.
I'm so glad.
It's very
At
nice.
least it'll go
That
everywhere,
tickles me.
Yeah.
not die.
That's
Very
wonderful.
nice, it brings you supplies, snacks too.
Oh.
We go through places, I don't even have to put the four-wheel drive on, it's very, very wonderful, I feel safe in it. It's a lot heavier vehicle than the Jeep, so it just, it's very, very nice. I thanked the commissioners multiple times, and
So
I'll thank them
just
again
so I
if they're
know-
listening.
Which commissioner helped you do it? Or was it joint? I'm just curious.
I think because Lucas is part of the finance group, he really played a big part in that, not that Kevin didn't have anything to do with it. I think Lucas was able to find the funds.
I just want to know who really did help.
He helped a lot.
Lucas. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Good to know.
Okay, any more new business? If not, you'll hear a motion to adjourn.
Motion made,
Second.
voted on.
All in favor, say aye.
Hey, ay.
Thank you, guys, sorry for
I
the.
don't like
y'all.
You know, this is all good, right? You got all
Actually,
this,
it
right?
was because we got a lot of information.
Yep.
We discussed the problems,
issues, see ya. What you heard?
Was that
Discuss
something we need
Mike's
to catch
issues?
next time,
Yeah.
you think?
I need
Well, that's why she
counseling.
wants to
Mike
be
has issues.
excited.
Counsel have issues.
Yeah.
Need
She has
to-
more
I'm gonna
time-
need
they have
counseling
more
after
time
this
to-
thing too.
A week.
Imagine
Well,
after-
that's what I
Tuesday.
suggested.
you need counseling.